Um, Hello, everyone. I'm Arna,
And I'm Maitri B. Walker.
and we're part of the Bloom Initiative, committed to helping you get that job, advance your professional work experience, and make you an all-around corporate boss.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to today's online networking workshop. So, today we'll be guiding you through how to network to success.
What is networking? Networking is the process of making connections and building relationships, and these connections can provide you with advice and contacts, which can help you make informed career decisions. So let's break this down. Basically, networking is convincing people who might be able to give you a job or an opportunity in the future to like you, so that they give you that job and not someone else.
So, did you know that 85% of jobs are filled through networking and not online applications? Yep, that's right. Networking helps you find new job opportunities and not only explore different career paths, but also dive deep into a particular field of your interest. Through networking, you're able to get advice from other people through your field. Industry experts, for example. You can trade information and with others and be helpful to both parties. So, with networking, you can also make new friends and build long-lasting and supportive relations, which is really important in the world of business. Also, you can improve your communication skills. This helps you gain more confidence in expressing yourself. So, what are the different types of networking? Let's break down the different types of networking. Networking can happen in many different forms. In person networking is the first example. You can meet up at events, conferences, or just casual meetups. This is the type of networking we do most. Secondly, we can do online networking, which is when you meet through platforms such as LinkedIn, Twitter, or other professional media. Zoom and Google Meet or any video type of video call also counts as well. Lastly, there's organizational networking, which is when you meet through your current workplace or industry. High school students would meet through school. So, for example, most of us here are high school students. So we would meet through high school. But a software engineer would meet through his company. So, based on the type of networking environment, you have to use different tactics to connect.
Here are a couple of networking tips. The first thing you want to do is be authentic. Don't try to sell yourself to get something out of the interaction. You want to focus on building a connection and make sure that the other person likes you also and wants to get to know you more. So think about some go-to conversation starters, which we'll be expanding more on during the workshop. An easy way to practice networking is starting with your current network. Think about your parents, acquaintances who you might not know super well, or even friends of a friend who you've only met once or twice. These are great ways to practice some of those networking skills since they're already a face you're sort of familiar with and not someone brand new. An easy way to quickly network with people is an elevator pitch. And this is a brief introduction of yourself, about 30 seconds to a minute, which shows your personality, tells people who you are, what you do, and what you're passionate about. So we're also going to be talking about this more during the workshop because this is an important part of networking.
That's absolutely right. So, you want to listen more than you talk. Listening is a really important skill while networking. You want to be able to ask questions and demonstrate your interest. You want to show genuine interest towards building strong connections. So, networking is not just about talking about yourself. You want to listen actively and ask thoughtful questions and show interest in the other person. People appreciate being heard. Next, you want to use social media wisely. So LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, these all can be used for networking. So after meeting someone, send a personalized message or a follow-up email. It helps you stay top of mind and show you that you value the connection. So make sure you're keeping that connection fresh.
Expanding on what Maitri said, one important part of networking is building a connection. Try to talk about something else rather than jumping straight into the ask or asking them for an interview or an opportunity. In a movie, you wouldn't want to jump straight into the bank scene without knowing the villain's backstory and why he's robbing the bank. So, an easy way to come up with topics to talk about is the Ford technique. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams are all topics that most people are readily available to talk about and are also interested and passionate about talking about, which helps you build that connection sooner. Some example sentences are, what do you want to achieve in your career in the next 2 to 3 years? Or where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Which will get the other person starting and start a genuine conversation.
Okay, now let's talk about what you should include in an elevator pitch. So look, what Arna said, having an elevator pitch is essential in networking. You want to be able to communicate your personal brand and what you want to be known for, or also known as your selling points. So when you're networking with someone, you want to keep these questions in mind. So tell me about yourself. What do you want to do? What are you interested in doing next? Keep in mind, you want to be able to answer as many questions as possible just in a 30-second to 1 minute presentation. It should be quick and efficient. You don't want to keep talking to bore out the other person, but you don't want to also talk very little so that the other person doesn't know you at all. Remember, you want to think about what makes you unique. What are you seeking for? What can you offer? And what do you want the person to remember about you specifically?
So here's an example elevator pitch. Hi, my name is blah, 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 and I'm studying this super awesome field and I'm going to graduate in the near future. I'm looking forward to or I'm interested in this super cool topic that hopefully you know about. I recently worked on a project that did this amazing thing and I'm interested in learning about this topic. Could you tell me more about your cool projects or topics?
So this is just a very basic outline. And over here, I elaborated the outline. And this is what I would say if I was networking with a casual friend, like just a friend in a casual meetup. So, hi Arna, my name is Maitri. I'm a student from Nashua High School South, and I'll graduate in 2027. I plan on majoring in business administration, and I heard that you co-founded a project that provides students with job shadow opportunities. So I'm very interested in your project, and can you tell me more about the opportunity you're providing? Very basic. You don't have to you don't have to explain too much about yourself, but it also doesn't tell you nothing about yourself. So keep it basic.
An important part about a networking conversation is exiting the conversation. You don't want to leave the person you're talking to hanging, just like this guy hanging off a cliff about to fall into shark-infested waters. You want to make sure you exit the conversation in a classy manner. And some ways to do this are suggesting meeting up at another time or introducing them to someone new. An example closing statement is, I'd love to hear more about your project. Could we schedule a call next week? This keeps you fresh in your mind, but also helps you exit the conversation and move on to talking to someone new so that you both just aren't talking to each other and letting the conversation dry out. So here's some closing tips that you can keep in mind. As much as you want the person you're networking with to give you the job offer, they should also want to give you an offer. And that's why it's important to make sure that when you're networking, you have a genuine conversation and it's not just you trying to get them to give you a job. And one way to keep yourself relevant and in their mind is to follow up 24 to 48 hours after to keep the conversation fresh. And some messages you could send are thanking the person you've networked with for an interesting discussion about a topic you've talked about. Or maybe if you're talking about articles, books, movies, music, you could send them a link to that just to keep yourself in their mind. And another thing you want to do is reconnect with them. If you're networking with a lot of people, it can be easy to forget who you've talked to. And that's why we suggest to reach out every semester or quarter and just suggest to meet up in person or over Zoom to talk so that you can keep that connection relevant and not just someone you've met like 5 years ago.
All right. Thank you so much for joining our online networking event. So, to wrap up, remember that networking is not just a one time activity, it's about building ongoing relationships. Keep practicing your elevator pitch, follow up with new contacts, and stay genuine in your connections. Thank you so much for joining today's session, and I wish you all best in your networking efforts. Remember to follow the Bloom Initiative on Instagram.